Welcome back to STEM with Mrs. Dabrowski. Today we're going to be just using oil and water. Most of you probably have that in your house, and so you probably already know that oil and water will not mix together, and that has to do with the hydrogen bond that's in the water. Something else would have to happen to break that bond, so the oil cannot penetrate or mix in with that bond. So what we're going to do right now is I have already poured in some water and a little bit of oil at the top, and then I have food coloring that I've put into some water, and we're going to see what happens when we drop these food coloring drops. Notice that they form these little bubbles that get kind of trapped up inside of the oil. And the water, if you're noticing, it's going to try to start coming down, and we'll leave this for a minute and come back and see if it goes into the water. But the next thing that we're going to do, see how they're suspended in the air? It's pretty cool to see. They've gotten trapped in that oil and they're trying to break through. So we're going to go on to our next thing. By using this, I'm going to mix in several colors into, I have a little bit of oil here, and I'm going to mix several food coloring in here. I'm going to do some blue and some green, a little bit of red. And it's doing the same thing that it was doing in that oil. It is forming little droplets inside of my oil. But I'm gonna now take, after I put a few more in there, I'm going to take a fork and I'm gonna force it to mix in with that oil. So I'm gonna mix it all into the oil. And then I'm gonna dump this on top of my water. Look at all those bubbles that are forming. And let's watch and see what happens to those colors of food coloring. Notice that they've separated into their colors. I don't know if Janai can capture that on there, but they've separated into their colors instead of being all mixed together. And Janai, if you want to come back over to this, look what's happening. That's why we have to wait a little bit in science. Notice, do you notice that the water droplets are starting to come down? They're starting to come down, and now Janai is going to come back over here. I'm sorry she's switching so much, but look what's happening. Do you see the color coming through? If the more food coloring you add, the prettier it will be. But are you capturing that? Look and see, and notice that right now what I see is the color blue and green. They're separated. When I mixed it together, the colors have separated. Are you seeing this forming down? Now, the more you use, the more colors that you can see. Isn't that beautiful? It's almost like a firework in our water. And that's why I wanted to show you the difference with how the food coloring got suspended. Look at that. So cool. I hope that you'll try this with different colors. I'll spin it around so that you can make sure you see all the different colors. This is pretty neat. And so I am impressed that our colors are not mixing together. And I'm wondering when they get to the bottom what will happen. Okay, so what I've done is I have put some oil. This is just vegetable oil or canola oil, whatever you have, in the refrigerator to get it cold. It's been in there for 24 hours, and now I'm going to pour it so you can see it. You can just leave it in this bottle to do at home, but I want you to be able to see it on the video. So I'm going to pour it into this vase, which has become part of my stem. And I really think the higher the oil, the better, so I would try to use your water bottle to have a better result. So I have my Jell-O. It has been mixed with the 2 cups of hot water and the 2 cups of cold water. And then I have a dropper. If you don't have a dropper, if you have a medicine syringe or something like, sometimes parents have stuff they stuff into meat to season it, you may use that. You're gonna just put your dropper with your Jell-O and you're gonna drop it down into the oil. And if you notice, it's gonna form little orbs. And it's gonna set up as it goes through that cold oil into little Jell-O. I know a lot of you are into the drinks that have bubbles. This is gonna have little Jell-O balls. You could make different colors. If you wanted to, you could actually, your parents will know what this means. You could use unflavored gelatin if you just wanna make different colors that don't taste. This is actually strawberry Jell-O, and so if we really took the time, we could take this Jell-O and we could actually put it and strain it and rinse it off and eat it. If you don't have, I'm going to show you how to use a spoon. If you do not have a dropper, I'm going to see if this works. And if you notice, it does. I even made some bigger ones. So if you don't have an eyedropper, you don't have a little medicine syringe, just use a spoon. Just be sure you drop it up high because you really want it to form those little orbs. I hope you'll try this at home. Okay, so Janiyah really wanted to try this. So I apologize. I didn't save all of our little pearly things because I wanted to make a strawberry dessert. But Janiyah, she has to have whipped cream. So we, go ahead, rinsed off the oil.
No, that was good.
So all right, so while she's finishing eating, I just want to say that when we did our things today, when we were mixing the oil and it was all different colors, and then you saw that beautiful how it separated it, be careful that when you look at things, you don't look at the mess. We're kind of in a mess right now with what's going on. There's beauty that can come from that. Just like there was beauty in the oil experiment that we did. God can bring beauty out of anything. I have a special friend, a really good friend of mine, and we talk about how God can bring beauty from ashes, and He does. And so just as that mucky looking oil, He brought something gorgeous out of it, just know that God doesn't make accidents, and God and His design for our lives is perfect. So don't judge something from the outside. God looks at the heart, and I want you to think about that the next time you're complaining about something. Find what's good in it. Have a great day.